Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Who Radiate Wealth podcast. I'm Kornelia Stephanie, your host, and I'm with my beautiful co-host, Susan Axelrod. Welcome to the show, Susan.
Hello, it's great to see you, my friend. This is one of the most favorite things that I do is this conversation with you. I love everything about it.
I love everything about it too. So I wanted to remind the listeners, the ones that are just maybe tuning in for the first time, we have done several podcasts on women who radiate wealth. People can find them on YouTube. They can find them on your YouTube channel. They can find them on my YouTube channel under the playlist called Women Who Radiate Wealth. Go check it out. So what is the Women Who Radiate Wealth podcast really for? What is this conversation for? So when we know we're entrepreneurs and we're here now, really, it's 2022. We started this in 2021, started having this conversation, but basically it's being an entrepreneur in today's world and being in your wealth creation. That's what really it's about. It's about, letting go of the old stories of what you were born into, all the trauma and the emotional work that had to be felt and released. And it's hard as an entrepreneur. It is not easy to stay consistent to, especially if you're a single person like myself. So over the course of the last decade in really going from a corporate environment where I've got all my training, I used to take businesses that were in the red and brought them into the black, and then I would leave that business and go do it in another business. So, working for somebody else, it's nice when you have that secure income coming in. And then when you're really venturing off on your own and you're stepping into a passion, what you're passionate about, what you're offering, putting together your offers, presenting your offers, getting clients on the books, having that regular stream of income coming in, bringing in your first 100K, bringing in your first 200K, that all takes a while.
And does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
That is not easy to do. So Susan and I are not here to tell you what to do, because we're not here to tell you that at all. What we're here to inspire you. And we're going to share with you some of the tools and tips and things that we're doing in our own businesses right now that is supporting us to be in alignment with wealth creation. Women who radiate wealth. We're having fun in our business because that's a core value. Fun, to have fun, because we know the world is heavy too. And that also is happening. So at the same time, we have to be the conduits to be open to that experience and to bring fun into our business. And the other thing we're going to do on this podcast is we're going to invite you to things also, because we have awesome things. We've created awesome things. Right? We have awesome things that we want to invite you to. One of the things I'm going to bring up right off the bat, and that is, you want to be a guest on this podcast, Women Who Radiate Wealth, right, Susan? We've talked about
Absolutely.
So let's have the ladies contact us if you're a woman entrepreneur. And I'm saying it's a woman entrepreneur, but I dare the men too.
Let me say something about this. It's women who radiate wealth, or people with the feminine energy who radiate wealth. Yes. And so I think that's where we're going to be moving into. Both you and I are really growing out in this area. But really the people we're talking to are people who have that strong sense of feminine energy in them.
Do you know, Susan, that, I've been doing my spiritual meetup group for women, right? And then I have another call that I do. It's called the Wealthy Roots for Women, where basically we take out the old roots of the poverty consciousness and we really dissect those, and then we root in the wealth of what it is that you're choosing today. And it's just so interesting that now we are opening that call to men as well. Yeah. And but this isn't new for me. the reason why is, since as an ascension guide, this is my first and primary, is that I'm an intuitive mystic, and my work here on this planet is about heaven on earth, peace on earth, and really bringing in and being the embodiment of that higher consciousness. So in the retreats that I've done since 2012, the retreats that I would bring here to Lacaner, I would do three retreats per year, and I would invite women and men to come to that retreat, simply because I know how important it is for us to have both. And it was interesting because those retreats, most of the time, it was always women that showed up. We would have maybe one or two men in the group, right? And which that is all fine, that is all okay. But I now see that the men have integrated more of their intuition and more of the feminine softness, the divine feminine, and healed within their own being their own lower wounded masculine that was more in the controlling the planning stage. They're more intuitive now. They've integrated that, and they welcome that. So we welcome you to contact us. You can message me at radio@korneliastephanie.com, or you can message me on Facebook, or even if you see this on YouTube, you can message me to have a conversation with me about being a guest on this podcast. Susan is available as well for you to message her. She's daily live on Facebook. She does her live at 5 Eastern Standard Time. And so you can message Susan and tell her that you want to have a discussion about being on this podcast, Women Who Radiate Wealth. And then we'll bring you on as a guest. So that's the first invitation today. And so now let's get into our subject. Susan, what is on the dock? What are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about everything you just laid out in the context of bandwidth. Mm-hmm. Now, this came up because of, I don't know, a conversation I had recently. It was either in your group or my group or a coaching session or whatever it is. But the word bandwidth showed itself to me. Mm-hmm. And I decided that this is a very, very important term, phrase, lens for you, our listeners, to consider and to use regarding your own wealth creation. Mm-hmm. Now, I love what you laid out in the beginning there, Kornelia, because in part working with you and in part during my own journey into business, my own business over the last decade, I created what I call the intuitive business system. And the intuitive business system is in part about generating income, financial income, to support your ability to be in this space that we're in. Mm-hmm. If you don't, Kornelia, you and I both know many people who say they're in business and they do some good work, but they're not generating income, right? We know that. We both have people in our experience like that. But when you are able to generate the income, then you are able to be in the impact space that you want to be. Sometimes this takes what we call bandwidth. Now, I did look it up, Kornelia, and the definition of bandwidth is this: maximum amount of data transmitted over an internet connection in a given amount of time. Maximum amount of data transmitted over a given amount of time. And so these two concerns, the data, the information, the max within the time frame, that to me is what I think we're talking about today regarding bandwidth. How much bandwidth do I have to do what? Fill in the blank, right, of what you're talking about, which is the work that we do, the offers that we make, the products and services that we have. How much bandwidth do we have to really do that in the given time? That's what we're talking about today. And I want to just bring up the philosophy of time that Kornelia and I share, which is less is more.
Yeah.
So we both work less time in our business now. We generate more income and we have better improved bandwidth. Would you agree with that or no?
Yeah, and why do you think that is? Why do you think that is that we have better income? Is it because we're very strategic and intentional with scheduling calls to present our offers? Is that one? Would you say?
That is one. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
Oh,
that
yeah. Okay. So,
that
yes, that is one. But again, it's exactly that in conjunction with what I call the intuitive business system. You mentioned it earlier that you're in your intuition space. The reason that we are generating more income and spending less time with a capital T is that we are deep into our intuition space. We offer from our own personal, true, real experience what we know, and that has higher value. And when you're in your intuition space, it takes less time to do. So, for example, Kornelia,
Mhm.
you tell me, have you ever been on a call where someone hired you, let's say, call it for a coaching session, and it was intended that it was an hour, let's just say it was an hour, and you got X amount of dollars, but you did your magic, your intuitive magic, and in 12 minutes or 20 minutes, you knew you had that energy shift. You knew without a shadow of a doubt that you made that breakthrough that was intended, let's say, of what you were offering. Do you know what I'm talking about here?
I do.
Right.
I
And
do.
so, right. So here's an example where you and I would come down the funnel. We don't need to sell an hour of time any longer. When you're in your intuition space, you're selling breakthrough. And then I've done this in 12 minutes because I look at my clock. And I know you have too, because we've talked about this. I look at my clock. When I feel that energy shift, I'm like, done for today. I don't have to go an hour. I don't have to sell my time for that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that would depend on what the service is, what the call is for. So, like you're speaking of, doing an energy session, an energy work, a trauma work, a clearing work, that kind of a session. I was speaking more of, I was in my thought, I was thinking of a sales call, an invitation to an offer. That's where I was
Well,
going.
hold on a second.
Because
Record.
actually, both of those are also happening.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say. Okay, let's talk about a sales call.
Yes.
Now, how is it that we can make more money in less time? When you're in your intuition, when you are in your intuition space or in intuitive business, as we are, and you've said this to me a million times, Kornelia, you can have a sales call, even if it's scheduled for an hour, and you are so deeply regarding the KS Media Group app. You are so deeply in your intuition space. You are so impassioned. You are so on point that the people who are coming to you are really getting it, and you can do it more quickly. Okay, maybe there's some detailed questions to answer. Maybe there's some logistics questions to answer, but you can shoot them a document to answer those questions. Here's your FAQ, your frequently asked question. But for you, if you're talking about a sales call, I guess I should ask you, instead of assuming, can you do a sales call for something that is so intuitive for yourself in much less time than it used to take?
I can, and I can do that. However, there's a difference. Like for me, when I do a sales call, I'm looking at going in a relationship with a person. So for me, it is not just about me bringing my piece, but it's about also having the space to get to know the other person. And so that's all built into that hour of time. So going back to, uh, you know, making more with less time, is that's very intentional and strategic for me. So that basically when I make up my schedule for the week, putting aside a 2-hour block to have present my offers or to have my sales calls is what that is about, right? And that's what that is about, because I'm speaking about the offers, I'm speaking about the income coming in and
Right.
the beginning of the relationship. And then whatever I'm going to do with those clients, that's all going to be at a later point. But the initial conversation is just even to see if we can have a symbiotic relationship and if we are in alignment with each other and if we fit in that kind of way. And most of the work that I do today is helping entrepreneurs increase their income and really brand their marketing and show up out of the gate with either podcasting or being positioned in our app. So that's the piece. And then I love spending time with my clients throughout the month. I would generously offer my time, because again, I value the relationship, because that initial investment was already made.
Well, that is a part of bandwidth. When you're loving your clients, you value your clients, you're talking about a long discovery call. I call that a discovery call, also a sales call. You're talking about a long discovery call or sales call. So because you're investing in the relationship, then once you're really, you're having the right clients, I call them, as you know, I call them my wonderful clients, and you're working with them, then you're in a love relationship with your clients, right? You're in,
Which we are.
I know, you're in this wonderful synergy, and then you grow your bandwidth because you're growing it in love. If you're in a difficult relationship, if sometimes it doesn't go that well. If you don't have a good discovery process, then if you're in a difficult relationship, your bandwidth shrinks because you're using more energy to do that. I go very deep quickly into, I guess I just have this sense of knowing when a client is going to be good for me. Yesterday, I had a meeting. Kornelia, one of my own former clients, made a gift of my coaching to a relative, a family member, and for Christmas, 2 sessions with me. And at the end of the first session, the person was so thrilled. We were having so much fun. I'm saying to her, "Oh, you have to pay $100 a month to get into my weekly women's business accountability group, because it's exactly what you need." Unapologetically, not like, "Oh, if you have it, this is how much it is," but like, "Please figure out where it's going to come from and join us, because you are going to be in cohort and you're going to love it." And that increases bandwidth because you're in your enthusiasm, right? That's really how you can more easily bring people in. You make your offer, but you're making your offer to more right people, maybe. And
I think in part, it just happens at first is that you have the realization and the intention that who is it that you're calling in? Who is it that you're calling in? And so then you're calling in the right relationship, the right clients, the right partners, the ideal clients, the wonderful clients. You're calling them in, and then you're presenting to them what it is that you have to offer that's going to help solve their problems, that's going to help make their life better, that's going to increase their income, that's going to make magic happen in their life. And it's your job as the practitioner, coach, whoever you are, small business consultant, to express that value in the initial meeting. And so that whole passion, I mean, I've been with people too where I felt that feeling that you just talked about. It's interesting because it's not with everyone. That feeling is not with everyone. When it comes, because you're in intuition, and you're in your intuitive guidance. I call it intuitive guidance. You're in your intuitive guidance, and you are there, and so you're listening, and then you're like, "Oh my God, you have to do this."
Yeah. Yes, I know. And you've told me, even after, you've called me sometimes and said, "This just happened. Like I said to this person, you have to join the app. That's all there is to it."
Yeah.
And it's fun. And it's fun. To your point that you made earlier, it's fun, isn't it?
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun because you're in your heart's desire, you're in your soul's desire, you're in alignment with it, which is going to take me straight to this next thing, Susan. I love what we just talked about. So, you know how we in the KS Media group, how we come together every single week and we put together a real time question, pose a real time question to the public so that they can go to the app, download the app, and answer the universal question, and also, journal their answers, right? So Ashley just created the video, put it together. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my God, Susan, it's ridiculous. That's how good it is, right? It's ridiculous.
Wait, let me explain to everybody else what you're talking about.
Okay.
Kornelia created this genius activity so that when we come together in the group that she offers us every single week, a 2-hour mastermind when you join the app, then what happens is we're all together on Zoom and we make a real-time marketing video. We go right around the room and we ask the universal question. We each say something, and we have this opportunity right there to access this marketing video for every single one of us in the app.
Yeah, not just the video, but then also the graphics that is there. So basically, because everybody is always thinking, what am I going to do? Create the marketing. What am I going to post? What am I going to post? Well, being featured in an app as a leading consultant, as a leading expert, I mean, it's tremendous value right there. Wait till you see what I'm going to present on Saturday morning. That's going to blow your socks off to Diane McClay. After we did our meeting on Tuesday, we lingered a little bit later. I know you all had to run and go, and because you all had other appointments on the books, but we stayed a little bit later, and she really spoke to the value of, oh my God, this is just insane. And so I'm going to open with that video. Of course, we clipped it because it's ridiculous. It's like, oh my God, this is so good. But the whole point for me telling you this story right now, and for you, the listener that's listening, if you go to my personal Facebook page, Instagram, wherever it is, in Kornelia Stephanie business page, you're going to see this video I'm talking about. It's 2 minutes and 59 seconds. I think it's, something like that. What was so cool, Susan posed the question because we the coaches, we come up with these questions that we want to use to the public so that you can use the app with us on a daily basis, right? And so Susan posed the question, are you ready to say yes to your soul's desire?
What would it feel like to say yes to your soul's desire?
What would it feel like to say yes to your soul's desire and then actually go journal that? Well, it was so interesting when Diane McClay posed the question, the background that Ashley chose, there was a shooting star that came down when Diane said the question. Ignited, a shooting star. It was like brilliant. So speaking about the app, for those of you that want to have a conversation with me, and or Susan about how do you become a joint venture founding member partner in this app, have a conversation with us. Reach out to either one of us, and we would love to talk to you about joining our community here in the KS Media Group app. We do real-time marketing. We are a group. We have a mastermind, and we are growing into an expansive network of high professional entrepreneurs that are here to, enliven the new earth.
Enliven and enlighten.
Yes.
And so one of the benefits that I myself have gotten out of joining the app, the KS Media Group app, is a connection, not with every single person in the group. There's a lot of people, but with some of the people I've just personally connected in a beautiful intuitive synergy. So this afternoon, Kornelia, Nadine, the Calmer Self Coach, and I are simply going to do our own live And we are going to talk about the value of investing in your own personal development education for, wait for it, a calm and confident life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And this is really, truly an example when you show up as you are and have fun in business, there is wealth creation in many different currencies. Now, don't get me wrong. I like cash. I want cash so I can continue to give my services away to women who need my help but cannot afford to hire me. That's one of the reasons I want more cash. I also like my pedicures, but that's a story for another time. And
Yes.
so, but another currency that I have gained from being in the app is goodwill, love, and synergy with people around the world. Nadine is from England, and I'm currently in Arizona. And we love each other, and we have fun together, and we're in good business synergy together. And we are going to do this for fun and for free right now. And as we grow more confident, Kornelia, you ask, how do we have wealth creation? We have fun, we grow more confident, and then we create a program to offer people which we know will have impact. Isn't that right? Isn't that the way it goes?
Yes, and that's wonderful. And I hope that you guys will make it as part of the exclusivity also for the KS Media app. So I think that that would be a wonderful contribution, because one of the things that we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to create another opportunity for the entrepreneurs in the app to do, little pods of summits together, to do a little panel calls and different things, and then also to offer the audience the opportunity to work with all the practitioners that were all part of that. So, that's also great. But Nadine is great fun. She's a wonderful person like yourself. I mean, when I first met Nadine the first time, she came onto my Stories of Hope, and I instantaneously had a connection with her. And I have built my relationship with her ever since, which, again, this is something that I deeply value. So I have spent a lot of time and energy with Nadine. She's in all my groups. She's in all of my things that I participate in or that I facilitate.
Let me interrupt you here. And I just want to say what you just said is another way that people can have wealth creation. This is very important, Kornelia. You just said she's in all my groups. So
Yep.
you have the app, you offer the mastermind, you have the spiritual mentoring, you have the women, the Wealthy Roots group and the other group. And maybe, I guess you might perhaps be saying she pays a little bit for all these different things. And so now here's one person who grows in her energy that she receives from you, and she rises in her ability to connect with you. She's willing to pay that a little bit and that a little bit and that a little bit, and working with you to grow in synergy. And all of that is a little bit more in your income. Do you see what I'm saying there? This is a big thing that's missing in business. People don't realize. They think you need to speak to millions and millions of people. And if you don't have thousands of followers and hundreds of thousands of people on your email distribution, that you didn't really make it. But you and I know differently, because we know that true wealth creation comes from that relationship you spoke about in the beginning, and also being clear on what I call your strategy, sacred strategy, system, and structure in the intuitive business system.
Yes. And the same thing, like with Nadine, I do that podcast called Self-Realization in the Inner Child, which you sponsored us. So, which you're the sponsor of, and we give you so much, we always send so much traffic your way during the time of the podcast. And Nadine has been a wonderful person. I mean, we've done like 18 episodes now. So it's been incredible. And now, especially as we're moving deeper into 2022, the next collective group of people that is awakening today, that is looking at working on their inner child and healing those core wounds. What's great, this is also another thing, you guys, is that I have all of the shows now documented on one document, and that any person that wants to receive a copy of that document, you're going to get it for free if you contact me at radio@korneliastephanie.com, because this is part of my philanthropy work of giving back. So you can binge watch all the shows. There's so much wisdom of what we shared in the self-realization and the inner
And
child.
boy, I mean, that's why on my own volition, unsolicited, I called you and said, I want to be a financial sponsor for this podcast. Self-realization and the inner child is a deep part of my own coaching work as well that I do with clients. And that's why I did that. This is a great, amazing podcast for people to listen to.
Well, not just that, Susan, but also, if you are a practitioner, if you do Reiki, if you are in the, school system as a teacher, or if you are working with kids or parents, right? Or if you are a practitioner of any sort, having this as a free gift to give your clients is something that you can use. So feel free to message us and contact us to get the series. You can also go find it on YouTube. It's there. Or you can find it in the Media Group app as well. So, I mean, we just have so much fun doing our podcast, don't we?
Yes, we have so much fun, not just doing our podcasts, but in business. And honestly, in terms of bandwidth, for me, my bandwidth grows as my energy and fun and love and impact space grows. My bandwidth gets small when I try to fit myself into the box and the paradigm of the way somebody else tells me I should be doing it. Well, you have to have this, you have to have that, you should do this, you should do that. I shrink and shrink and shrink when I get that. But when you and I are I know when we're in business together, we show up as we are and have fun in business. I've loved this conversation, Kornelia. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was so rich. It was so many wonderful things. So just to, we're closing out now, but first what we want you to do is we want you to download the app. So go to the App Store, Play Store, and type in KS Media, MEDIA Group, and download the app, grab your free ebook, create your free account so that you can get access to all the content. And then go answer the universal question. Start there. Go there, start there, go answer the universal question, make your way over to directories, and then you can also look at all the fabulous practitioners and podcasts and meditations and all kinds of, articles and tips that's there for you to support you to create and live your best life 2022. If not now, when? If not now, when? So one more thing is, Susan, when you and Nadine do your show live, however you guys are going to do it, and when you're talking about the app and the value that you receive from the community, feel free to share that link with us, because when we send out promos and announcements, we always like to have the members' voice heard.
Absolutely. I will do. We're doing it at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. England time. So I'll share that with you. Thank you as always, friend. So fun to be in business with you, and wishing everyone, all the people listening to this podcast, the very best for your own confident rise in business, which will lead to your wealth creation.
Excellent. This is so good. This is so good. We'll see you again next time. If you want to be a guest on this show, message us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye.